Hi there, and welcome to today's vlog. Over the years, I've listened to many preachers, Bible teachers, and some have really benefited from sitting under their ministry. One of those who are put into that category is a gentleman called R.T. Kendall. R.T. is American, but for about 30 odd years, I think, he was minister at Westminster Chapel in London. I've heard him speak at different events. In fact, I've met him so many years ago now at Easter People in Scarborough, when we were involved in the ministry team and he was a guest speaker. He's a great man, and he's one of those people that I follow on Twitter. So every day he posts a short tweets, some aspect of Christian discipleship or biblical truth. And most recently, his theme was pleasing God. And his question was, are you more interested in pleasing God or pleasing people? And let's face it, most of us find it a pressure because we want to please people, want to be liked, don't we? And I know that as a minister, when I was in active ministry, there was always that pressure to please people, the people you serve. But sometimes that comes in conflict with what you believe God would have you do. But that's the question for us all. Am I a people pleaser, or do I seek to be a God pleaser? And RT, in his short tweet, cited the example of Enoch, an Old Testament character. And we're told in Exodus chapter 5, verse 24, Enoch walked faithfully with God. Then he was no more because God took him away. Or in the Living Bible, he walked in fellowship with God. He had such a close relationship with God that he was one of the, I think there's only two people in the Bible who didn't go through a normal physical death. It says Enoch walked faithfully with God and God took him away. Who was the other one? Can you remember? I think it was Elijah, who went up to heaven in a chariot of fire. So Enoch, RT cites an example, and if you turn into Hebrews chapter 11, which is the great chapter in the letter to the Hebrews on faith, and the writer gives examples of people of faith. And in Hebrews chapter 11, verse 5, by faith, Enoch was taken from this life so that he did not experience death. He could not be found because God had taken him away. For before he was taken, he was commended as one who pleased God. Isn't that a great epitaph for a person's life? He was commended as one who pleased God. And I wonder if that is the focus of our lives. Do we seek to be God pleasers, or are we giving in to the temptation to try and be people pleasers? So do we seek to please God before we please our spouse, our family, our friends, our work colleagues? Are we putting God first? Because that is the call of the Christian disciple, to put God first, to follow in the way of Jesus, whose desire, in fact, he said on one occasion, my food is to do the will of him who sent me. So Jesus' motivation was to please his heavenly Father. And I think in one of Paul's letters, he says we should seek to find out what pleases God. Perhaps you can, I can't quite remember which of Paul's letters that's in. But there it is. Do we seek to please God? And I want to finish really by asking another question that RT asked in his statement. Incidentally, apparently RT has just written a book called Pleasing God. Not published yet, but it will be coming out soon apparently, so I'm sure that would be a worthwhile read. But this is the other question that he posed. Which gives you most satisfaction? That God is pleasing you, or that you are pleasing God? What a great question, isn't it? Because so often we want God to do our will, to please us by answering our prayers in the way that we want. And sometimes that is more important to us, getting God to please us, than for us to please God. So we're getting things wrong way around. So maybe I'll leave you with that question. Let me just repeat it. Which gives you most satisfaction? That God is pleasing you, or that you are pleasing God? I'm going to be thinking about that, and perhaps you will too. So God bless you. Thank you so much for listening today.